Now this is what you call an SUV. One of Jeremy Clarkson's personal favourite vehicles, and a car, well, an SUV, of which I adore. I have been in one of these cars, well, these SUVs before, and it is so luxurious. Well, does it really fit in Forza is the question that's on everyone's minds right now. Does the Volvo XC90 I designed from 2017 fit into a Forza Motorsport 7 game? Well, let's have a look at the stats then. So, if you want to buy this car, you obviously have to have the February car pack. When you get the February car pack, you get one free purchase of this car. If you want to purchase it again, for whatever reason, you do have to pay 47,500 credits. Which is very cheap compared to some cars in this game. It's cheaper than that Lincoln that we reviewed a couple of days ago. And I know for a fact, I would much rather have this than that Lincoln. Now, for this 47,500 credits, you can get 400 horsepower, which is the same as the Lincoln. You get 472 foot-pounds of torque, which is more than the Lincoln. But you do weigh a massive 5,105 pounds. Now, that might seem heavy, but Volvo have done something very special. In other news, grip-wise, you get 275s on the front, 275s on the rear, road tyres are standard, and it is all-wheel drive. So the grip is there, and it also isn't if you want it not to be. So that is all very good. It is front-engined, and the engine in this, well, I'm not entirely sure, because in Forza Motorsport 7, you know you can't, we all know we can't have double aspirations. But if you were to have the T16 version of this, which is the one that's in Forza, you would have a 2-litre, 4-cylinder, turbocharged and supercharged engine. Because obviously one aspiration isn't enough for an SUV, so why not add 2? Although, in Forza you can only upgrade the single turbo, so I'm supposing this might be the EcoBoost one, the whatever the equivalent is in Volvo. You get like 400 odd horsepower, and you know, I guess that's the equivalent of it, but I'm not entirely sure. What this this model is based off would be the supercharged and turbocharged model, so it would be a bit cool if Forza could incorporate it, but they didn't. So, I mean, you know, it's not the worst thing ever. But you can go from 0 to 60 in 5 seconds, which is faster than Lincoln. You go 0 to 114.4 seconds, which is slower than Lincoln. You go 60 to 0, 141 feet, 100 to 0, 350 feet, with a top speed of 170 miles an hour. Now, all that might seem very well, pretty slow, not very fast in a straight line, not very quick accelerating. But look at the way this thing is. Okay, it's got very high riding suspension, so the suspension is relatively soft. It's relatively wibbly wobbly, but it is relatively sporty as well. This thing feels very light. You can throw it around, you can have fun, you can do whatever you want with this car. You can take it off-roading, obviously, if you could do that, but we can't in Forza Motorsport 7. You can race it on a track pretty well. It doesn't go that fast, but it does feel very quick. And if you want to drift it, by God, you could do that. In fact, in some cases, you get so much confidence in this car, you try and push it too much, and then you end up spinning out. But it's not the worst thing. This Volvo, I do really like it, and that's good. Obviously, that's incredible if you like a car that you get added into Forza, because, you know, I had to buy the car pack for it. I don't really see a downside to this car. Okay, let's go over some things. It's all-wheel drive, so is there any understeer? Not really. Obviously, if you push this car to its absolute maximum, it's not got the chassis designed to do racing. It's got an SUV chassis, a more off-road oriented chassis. You can see I'm sliding about here perfectly well. It's not meant to be a race car. It's not meant to be a sports car. It's not meant to, you know, be racing around. But this thing does it, and I don't understand how. Look at how much the suspension's got to compress on that front wheel to get around the corner. And, you know, this is the really high riding suspension, the very soft suspension all-wheel drive should lead to understeer, but it doesn't. This car really does turn in very well. As for oversteer, if you're racing this thing properly, no, you won't get to oversteer. If you want it to oversteer, it will do it. And this car is very, just awesome. As you can see, I'm just kind of throwing about up here, and I'm just in so much control. It's great. And let's get on to the sound of this car. It's not the best, no, but it's not the worst thing you've ever heard in your entire life. No, it's not. So, What else? Oh, the looks of it. It looks incredible. It looks really, really cool. In fact, the front of it looks a little bit more futuristic than you would expect it to. It's an SUV. It's from Volvo. It's probably the safest car in the world. You could probably crash this into a German tank and you'd probably come out on top. But, yeah. The thing is, this car, it's not really worth being in a motorsport game. Put it in a Horizon game, this car would be perfect. But it's just not the circuit racer. I mean, we've got it stock. I've not tried upgrading this thing yet. We're going to do a silly car build on it, no doubt about that. It might turn out to be amazing. But, who knows? I've not tried it yet. And we're reviewing these cars stock. I mean, if we're comparing it to, what other cars we've took around the track that I like this? The Audi Q7, I think it was called. Yeah, the Audi Q7. The Dodge Durango. The Jeep Trailcat. Yeah, there it is, Track Hawk even. So we've took quite a few SUVs around here, and I'm going to be honest. The Dodge Durango is my favourite, and this probably comes a close second. But yeah, anyway, our next challenge was to take it to the drag strip, where obviously this thing weighs an absolute house ton. So it's not going to be the fastest thing ever. We're looking around the Audi Q7 times, because it weighs about the similar amount, has about the similar amount of horsepower, so that's probably what we're going to get. The Volvo got a time of 13.530, which is in 26th place. It's 3/10 exactly slower than a Lincoln Continental, but it is 4/10 quicker than a Hyundai Veloster N. Now obviously our next test here, as you all know, is the drift test. And as you can see, most of the things we can compare this car to is the Lincoln Continental. It's got the same horsepower, it was all-wheel drive. The Lincoln's got a little bit less tyre widths, a little bit less grippy. This thing's got more torque. So this is more comparable to the Lincoln actually. And we know the Lincoln did incredibly well on the drift score. And I'm going to be honest here. The Volvo does not disappoint. It looks incredible while drifting. I mean, watch in a minute. This thing, yeah, it's an SUV. It's high ride height. It shouldn't really be doing this, but it does surprisingly well actually. You just throw it in. It's all in control, and you can just gather it back up again. I mean, there's a little bit of brush on the wall, but that's just me not turning in quick enough because I'm scared of losing it. I did lose a couple of thousand points there, but it's not the worst. We are going pretty wide, but the thing is, with the car being all-wheel drive, there is a chance of neutral steer. And what neutral steer is when you are turning in, or when you're turning in and the car kind of slides out. It's kind of like drifting, but you're kind of going forward. You're kind of going diagonal. And I know that sounds an awful lot like oversteer. It's really hard to explain. It's like when you aquaplane and the car just kind of slides. That's what neutral steer is for an SUV, for a four-wheel drive car even. Now, there's not a lot of that in the Volvo. You can get it quite a bit sometimes, especially when drifting it. It would just kind of go wide. But then again, it's not meant to be drifted. It's meant to be on the highway, going from some place in Sweden to another place in Sweden. Because that's where Volvos obviously originate from. In other words, you'll be going from Scotland to Birmingham, somewhere like that. And you're meant to do it in comfort. This car will do that perfectly fine. But obviously we don't have the ability to do that in this game. So, we have to race it. We have to really challenge the car, push it out of its comfort zone. And well, you'll still be very comfy in this car if you're doing what you was doing in it. So, there's a big, massive bonus. We are coming to the end of the lap now. And this car looks incredible while drifting. It looks... I don't know, it kind of looks at home in a way. It doesn't look out of it. Like, we've seen like the Koenigsegg 1-to-1 go around, and that didn't look happy while drifting about. Actually, we didn't see that because I did that in the background, but that didn't look happy sliding around. Not a lot of cars here do look happy sliding around, but this car does. It looks fine. And we get, and we're going to cross the line now. We got a lap score of 31,583, which puts it into 9th place. Which is 500 above the Ford Focus RS, but it is 1,000 down, well, 600 down on the Porsche 911 GT2 RS. That's in between some very, very good cars right there. Anyway, our next test was to do our lap time. Now, we're in a very heavy car, not much power, got a lot of torque, so it's not too bad, and I've just started to learn manual with clutch, so there's not a lot of things that can go well, but I didn't mess my gears up, I did them pretty well, so that's not too bad. It's the first corner now, and the Volvo is on the inside, keeping the inside line, keeping it very, very comfortable. As you can see, it just goes where you tell it to do. It doesn't really oversteer, it doesn't understeer. just does what you tell it to do. That's a very, very good trait in a car. Coming up to the S-curves now, you can keep it on the inside of each of these corners, minimizing the amount of track you have to run into, so you have a quicker lap time because you have to travel a little less distance. Do get a little bit of neutral steer slide coming out of that there bend, but it does kind of put us alright for the next one. And now coming on to the final one to get into the Dunlop curve, we are a little bit in the middle of the track, but that's not the worst thing ever. We've got a little bit of understeer. We're pushing this thing very, very hard, so obviously we're going to have to get a little bit of that understeer, a little bit of that oversteer. We are very wide here in the Dunlop curve, which is not going to help the Volvo's time, but you just could not get it turned in. Pushing it that high, you couldn't get it turned in. If you're going any slower, then it wouldn't have been any good for you. Coming to the Deckness now, the brakes are incredible. It gets stopped, it gets slowed down, and gets accelerated out the other side very, very well thanks to the four-wheel drive system. The turning response here is great. You're not going fast enough for it to understeer, so it is perfect. The brakes also incredible to get it stopped at a very, very short notice. Coming up to the uphill hairpin, now this is where a lot of cars get undone, but because this car only has 400 horsepower and all-wheel drive, there is no drama. It gets shot straight up there, and is now being fired towards this long right-hander where we saw at the Dunlop curve this car have many issues, and again the Volvo is just struggling from understeer. You can see I'm pushing this thing, you can hear I'm pushing this thing to its absolute maximum, and I just can't get it turned in enough because it's just understeering. Although for that corner it does, that is the right track right line you want to take. Coming to Spoon now, and this is where we have a lot of issues because where you want to brake usually for this car, it is okay, but then when you start getting turned in and accelerating, it doesn't do very well, so you do have to brake a little bit later. As you can see, I'm extending the track a little tiny bit. I can't help that, this car's just understeering. We're now accelerating on the back straight. We got to about 130 miles an hour, which, yes, isn't fast, but in this thing feels like you're going light speed. And now you got to get on the brakes, and because the brakes are incredible, you don't have to brake until late, you don't even have to use that much brakes. It gets turned in, gets accelerated, stays on the racing line, and you get a perfect turn very, very easily in this car around that, around 130R. Coming now to the downhill braking zone, do we get a lockup? No, the Volvo is incredible. Coming into the Casio triangle, there is a little bit of a lockup into the right-hander. Now into the left-hander, it's accelerating very, very well. Coming around the final corner now, and the Volvo's got the all-wheel drive acceleration, all-wheel drive power, and we got to go straight line it straight to the line, and we're still accelerating, still going, and across the line. The Volvo got a lap time of a 2:46.765, which puts it into 26th position. Yeah, it's not the best, but it does beat the Audi Q7 by 4 seconds. But it is 3 seconds down on the Lincoln Continental. So, you know, this car is better than a luxury SUV made by Audi, and it's just a little bit slower than a luxury sedan by Lincoln. And what is my honest opinions on this car? This car is impeccable. It is a genuinely amazing car. Just not for a Forza Motorsport 7. And it pains me to say because I adore this car, but it just shouldn't have been added in. But what can you do? We got it in. We probably can do some pretty cool stuff to it. We'll probably make a very good A-class race car. Get a lot of the way out, get some more power in it, and it'd be perfectly fine. Anyway, leave a like and subscribe if you like this video here today, guys, reviewing the Volvo XC90. Comment down below your opinions on the Volvo, and also what car you want to see me review next. Anyway, that's it from me, Tim Beast Hyper, signing out.